everyone. So I know things look a little different right now. My light just went out, so I'm using the light from another source. So we'll deal with that. So I wrote this thing like a month ago, and it's like a list of topics. I'm like, what am I gonna make a video about next? Like, making videos, it can be very tiring, especially in the summer because it's so hot. But I thought it was time that I made a video. So I'm making one right now in the most lazy way possible. Like, I didn't really do anything to myself for this video because I just didn't feel like it. And also my light went out, so there was that too. So annoying. But I wanted to make this video about like the pursuit of perfection and how it's so annoying, not just for girls but for guys too, obviously, or just basically anybody, because it really hurts people and their self-esteem. Whew, holding camera is hard. So that's the video we're going to be going into right now, and I hope when I edit this it's going to look a lot better than I actually feel right now, because I'm using the front camera. Kind of an awkward thing to do, but at least I can't even see myself because I'm not wearing my glasses, so it's probably better that way. I don't know if it's just the way humans are, or is it just maybe animals, or just maybe something wrong with our brains, but I think the perfection thing is like our brains see something that's like out of place and they're like, that's wrong, it has to be fixed. Do you ever see somebody with like, it's not their fault, but like an annoyingly symmetrical face? Like their nose is like perfectly straight, their face is like, they have huge eyes and they have like perfect mouth and perfect everything. They're basically supposed to look, well, white. I mean, that's what people consider beauty today, even though it's not. Like, everyone looks great. This is the thing about growing up, is that like you don't care about what's right or wrong, you just want to fit in. And that was me when I was growing up. Like, it was probably because of the shyness thing, but I think I did not look good at all when I was little. And I personally believe that's part of why the kids avoided me. Also because I was shy and I never talked to anyone. But I think it was the combination of those two things. At least in my head it makes sense. And there is one person that I follow on social media. And I follow a lot of people, so this is a celebrity. And this person is someone I consider to be perfect in like every way. Like, their face is like symmetrical. They're nice. They always seem to know the right thing to say. They're dating someone. I never hear about them having a bad relationship ever. And yeah, this person is, I really like this person. Like, I can relate to them a lot. But there's this part of me, the insecure part that's like, but I think that's also another problem when you look into like celebrities. When we see people on TV, especially if they're good looking, we tend to believe that that's how everyone in the world should look, even though acting is like it's not the easiest job to get, obviously. And not just acting, like other people on YouTube, those kind of people, they only present like a small, very small portion of people who actually look like that. And also, let's not forget that these people wear makeup all the time, so there's a reason why they look the way they do. I mean, they look fine, but the makeup adds more. There's also another side to it, because think about how the person who is perfect, like, how do they feel about it? Because there are some people in the world who look perfect, not because it's natural, but because people kept telling them to be perfect. Like, they put like makeup and everything on their face. They study really hard to get straight A's. When you care so much about being perfect, you become a people pleaser. And that can be very exhausting, because you're always worried about what people think. And it creates this illusion of like perfection, where it's like, you must never say the wrong thing, you must always know what to say, you can't have any awkward pauses, uncomfortable moments. You have to always know the right thing at all times. See, this is why I don't like the cancel thing that people have going on. I think it's very annoying. Because for me, I think it's stupid, because if I was a teenager during this time, I would get canceled for sure. I'm sitting down because I got tired. So anyway, like I was saying, when I was 11 years old, I had a friend, and I became friends with her in like 5th grade when we were 10. And I'm not actually sure how we became friends, which should have been a red flag. But anyway, we were friends. Like, she was someone who tolerated me, like, who allowed me to hang out with her, which is what a friend was for me back then. So anyway, we were in middle school, and she became friends with this new group of girls. Like, they were kind of mean, but I kind of ignored it because, you know, it's like they were her friends, so like what could I do? So fast forward to a little bit into the school year. My friend, she had her birthday party, and I went there with her other new friends, and she got a gift from, I think it was her mom or someone in the house, and it was like a nice little bracelet, and the mom actually bought it from, starts with a W, but she got it from there. That's what I remember. And I made a joke. I was like, oh, did it cost 5 cents? Because, you know, it was from that place, which is known for being cheap, so they say. And I thought I was just joking. Like, now I realize it was like, that was probably not a very good joke, but, you know, I was a kid, so like I didn't know any better. And, you know, most sane or most normal people, or I like to think that most normal people would be like, hey, that wasn't very funny. I'm like, oh. And then, you know, just one awkward moment, and then like it's done. It's like you just forget about it and you never say it again. So fast forward to Monday at school. The girls are acting very strange, and they're saying stuff about me. They're like making fun of me. So what happened was, one of the nice girls in the group, she came up to me and she said that they didn't want to be my friend anymore. They wouldn't let me hang out with them, and that they were gonna abandon me. And I was left alone the whole year. And I mean, the nice girl, she would try to sneak off and hang out with me sometimes, but you know, that barely happened. So I was basically alone for the whole year. And then in 7th grade, I found like actual good friends, and then like 8th grade I did. And 9th grade, I found good friends, and like 10th grade, I became friends with people who would still be my friends today. But yeah, back then in 6th grade, it was like the most world-ending, like awful thing that happened to me. Like, I was alone at lunch the whole year. I was so lonely. It was so devastating for me. But now I realize it was kind of a blessing, because if you have people who shut you out for saying something, like if you make a mistake, and if they shut you out after saying the wrong thing, then they're not really good people. They're not understanding people. Because like, you can be like, hey, don't say that, that's not very nice, and they'll be like, I didn't realize. And you can make someone become self-aware that way. But the fact that the girls didn't even say anything, like they never said why, well, that's why I hate this whole idea of canceling someone. Because like, unless they did something really, really horrible, or they're very violent, you know, I don't think they should be canceled. I mean, that's what I think. Or something like that. Or maybe I'm just a little biased because, you know, I've been through the idea of being canceled myself. Like, I was canceled before canceling was even a thing. So, yeah. But that's why I don't like people. This is another reason why I don't like perfection, because it's like, you have to say the right thing. You can never say anything wrong. If you say something wrong, people will reject you. I mean, there are some people like that, because people are just, there's some people that are just, they want everyone to be perfect, maybe from some insecurity or something. But you don't have to be perfect. So yeah, that was my video on perfection. I can't believe I don't have light in my room anymore. Oh. But it's okay, I'll find a way around it. I just wanted to make a video about perfection and how it's so annoying to our society, because at the end of the day, no one's perfect. Just like this camera work is not perfect because I can't really see what I'm doing, and this lighting is just, but we'll make it work. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time, hopefully with a better video and better lighting. Bye.